Mr. President, Moca was indeed set up in 2014. The People's National Party was in government. It was set up so that the country could focus a set of high-level security people, pulling from the army and the anti-corruption in the police, against corrupting acts. It was not just another anti-crime measure, but a big part of the focus was against corruption. Because, as the current president of the PSOJ, Mr. Metro said some years ago, I think it was 2019, 2017, that corruption eats away annually 5% of GDP. At that time, 5% of GDP was 700 million, or is it billion, US, 735 million US. So corruption is something that holds back the country. Just this week, I saw the Integrity Commission put out something which says even mental health is affected by corruption. Lack of resources for dealing with mentally ill. But Moca is about anti-corruption in addition to crime fighting. A big issue for us, as in my view, this expansion of things seems to be diluting the Moca function from that big anti-corruption drive that it needs to make, to simple larceny, for which a police force of 14,000 ought to be focused, not Moca. Moca need to be looking at accounts that receive abnormal cash injections over a short period of time. For example, I know when I throw the stone, which pig will scream. So, for example, if in my account, over a 3-month period, 20 cash transaction is made, cashless card transaction is made, amounting to $4 or $5 or $6 or whatever $million. That's something that a red flag in the banking system should fly up. And certainly that's something that Moca, working in collaboration with the FID or whichever other agency, would address and ought to address. So I am concerned that to add simple larceny to their agenda, to look at the man in Westmoreland who went out to fish without his license, or in St. James, or in St. Anne, that Moca must now focus on that person, or the fish sanctuary in St. Mary. Moca ought to be focusing on the big fish, the kingfish, those who are taking kickbacks from contractors, those who are getting kickback from PR companies. Moca ought to be focused more not on the simple crime that the 14,000 police ought to be addressing, but on the criminal connection to corruption. And so, for example, Mr. President, what I would like to see us saying to Moca is help us develop an approach to unexplained wealth, so we can put unexplained wealth into our laws in order to deal with unexplained wealth. The Governor General, in a throne speech from here, tell us that that was a government priority. So what I'm saying, let Moca help us develop that policy on unexplained wealth. Something that the government and people of Trinidad and Tobago have passed. Let them tell us how, if there's any lessons to be learned from the 2022 case from Jamaica to the Privy Council dealing with the Proceeds of Crime Act, where a lawyer was charged for assisting somebody involved in money laundering. That's a case the Privy Council dealt with. And in that case, the Privy Council, in paragraph 86, spoke to the issue of privacy versus the public interest. And the view of the Privy Council is that in the investigation of crime and these issues, the public interest trumps the cry of privacy and family interest. That's what the Privy Council said, paragraph 86 of the Babbitt Simpson, Don Satterway's judgment. That's our highest court. So our highest court doesn't seem, my brother Ransford, to be of the view that unexplained wealth order or the POCO arrangement is unconstitutional. So it's clear to me. Say whatever you want to say now, friend. It just show me that the stone is leaking. I'm happy. So, Mr. President, illicit enrichment is what we ought to be soliciting Moca on. How to strengthen POCA is what we ought to be strengthening, working on. We should be using Moca to assist us in investigating the threat against our dear and beloved Prime Minister. Because recently we were told that our dear and beloved Prime Minister had a situation where massive police presence was rushed to his house. We were told initially it was a bomb threat. And then we were then told that it was a threat against the Prime Minister, which the police repelled. However, the country is still awaiting and would benefit from Moca being strengthened enough to investigate, to tell us, are there external forces or internal forces that is threatening our Prime Minister? Moca could tell us that. So I'd have hoped that in the schedule, I would see something which says, instead of Prida last night, the man thief in Aki at King's house, the fisherman going out to sea at Alligator Pond without his license. I'd have expected to see provision where our Prime Minister could be protected. And that Moca would help the country in understanding what happened in Beverly Hills recently. And also wish, Mr. President, to see and hear from the government telling us that Moca has developed intelligence to reduce the mass shootings in the country. Not just Cherry Tree Lane. Betheltown in Westmoreland. Cassava Peace in St. Andrew. Anawa, your dear St. James, we're being told that Moca is between 50 and 60% of its establishment. So they're short, and we're giving them more things to go fish sanctuary. Prida larceny, simple larceny. Where's the priority? The priority must be about those who in 3 years have $470 million going through their account when their salary was running at $12 million a year. That's what I want to see Moca being given the power and the resources